surrendering to God can be tough. Every day, we need to recommit ourselves to following His will and to asking for the strength and the grace to do that. Today, I'd like to offer 4 ways. One way to help us surrender to Jesus is to pray the Surrender Novena. I have a brochure here with all of the Surrender Novena prayers in here. And a novena is 9 days of prayer dedicated to a certain intention. So this Surrender Novena was given by Jesus to Father Dolindo Ruotolo. This is amazing. What this is basically a powerful source of daily reminders to surrender what is on our hearts and on our minds to Jesus. And this is something that has helped me so much to surrender that sometimes I just pray it in loop. I finish the 9 days and then I go back and I start to pray it again. Just to give you a quick idea of what is contained in it, the very first line is, "Why do you confuse yourselves by worrying?" It is wonderful. So they are short prayers, and each day it ends with repeating 10 times, "Oh Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything." So, highly recommended. Number 2, receive the Holy Eucharist as often as possible. Certainly on Sundays, but during the week too, as often as you can, go to Holy Mass and receive the Eucharist in a state of grace, of course. I'm going to give you a couple of quotes from saints. One is from Saint Faustina. This is from paragraph 1826. "When my strength begins to fail, it is Holy Communion that will sustain me and give me strength. Indeed, I fear the day on which I would not receive Holy Communion. My soul draws astonishing strength from Holy Communion." The second is from Padre Pio. I've talked about this book on my channel before. At the back of this book is a prayer that he wrote called "Stay with me, Lord." And I'm just going to read a couple of sentences from that prayer. "Let me recognize you as your disciples did at the breaking of the bread, so that the Eucharist communion be the light which disperses the darkness, the force which sustains me, the unique joy of my heart." The force which sustains me. A third way to surrender ourselves to God's holy will, conform ourselves to what He wants from us, is to pray the Chaplet of Divine Mercy every day at 3 o'clock, the hour of power, if at all possible. What a great time to just present our hearts, our needs, our desires to God and receive His mercy and His consolation. Number 4, ask the Blessed Mother for help. Mary is the perfect model of someone who surrendered all to God. Remember that at the Annunciation, she said to the angel, "May it be done to me according to your word." Her whole life was an example of surrender to God's holy will. Pope St. John Paul II had a great devotion to the Blessed Mother. And here's a quote from him. "From Mary, we learn to surrender to God's will in all things." So she will help us. Turn to her in even just a random moment of your day. You're having a tough time with something. Pray, "Mary, pray for me. Help me to accept God's will. Help me to surrender this to God." And then it doesn't hurt to say, as I mentioned with the Surrender Novena, "Jesus, you take care of it. And Mary, help me to know that Jesus will take care of it." So, Mary, Queen of Heaven, pray for us. Saint Elizabeth, pray for us.